101.1 The Beat, Everybody Tour is in the building, which means Big Lenbo. Hey man, good seeing you again, man.
You too, man, you too.
This tour, man, is straight hip hop, and not only is it hip hop, but like you guys are doing arenas and amphitheaters and thousands of kids waiting out in, it's like 105 degrees right now. Like, it's absolutely crazy. How does it feel?
Welcome to Logic's world.
How does it feel, man?
Hey, man, feels amazing. I'm like so blessed and honored to open up on this show. It's my first run ever as an artist.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing. Like, I mean, shit, I'm lucky as fuck, man. Like, what can I say?
Have you guys had those moments? No, you good. You say whatever you want.
Cool.
Have you had a moment to, like, I know that the tour just started, but like, be like, yo, like, we doing this?
Yeah, those moments coming out. You know, we get caught up with the day-to-day and the working of it, but yeah, have those moments, shit, for the last 4 or 5 years, you know, when Logic started ramping up and like, yeah, it's surreal. It really is.
And for people who don't know, I mean, it's pretty much safe to say, like, from the beginning, from the dirt in terms of this music stuff, that's where the relationship with Logic starts, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he was pretty accomplished as an artist, finding himself as an artist when I first met him. But around the time when I first met him, he was really going for it. And he really decided he wanted to do it for a living.
Got you. And I'm jumping ahead. We got to, like, you know, everybody tour, everybody, it's all family. We got to start with you, though. I know a lot of people watching right now, it's probably Young Jesus was like, who the fuck just spit these bars and stuff? But just you in general, childhood and everything, where does it start with you? What's the ethnicity, if you don't mind me asking?
No, my father's from South India,
okay, gotcha.
And my mother is white. And they met in college back in the 70s, and he was an immigrant, came to America in like 73. And so yeah, I was born in Maryland, and then before I was 1, we moved to Arkansas, so I was in the deep South for about 8 years.
I just want to say, if you know, I lived in Florida for a long time, but I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't hear that a lot.
I was a child, and we had family down there. We had like a little community and stuff like that. And but we moved back to Maryland in 1989, right outside of the city in a town called Adelphi.
How old?
Langley Park. I was like 8 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm from Maryland.
That's
really.
The city. Day to day, obviously, through even like Logic's first album, like it's rough. It's not all just the White House is there and everything. DC area, that area. How is it growing up in Maryland? How was that? Was it rough?
It was good, man. No, I was blessed, man. Maryland's a very where I grew up, the area right outside of the city, Prince George's County, Montgomery County, very diverse.
A lot of culture.
Diverse in ethnicity and culture, and also when it comes to financially, you know what I mean. You get both. You got a rich part of town. DC's a federal town, a lot of federal jobs. So you get transplants that come in, people that come in from other parts of the country to work, and it's a good town to be in economically. And it was good, where I grew up, it was right outside of the city. You know, it had hood qualities, I guess. You know what I mean? But it's not. Yeah, I didn't grow up in the projects or anything. But my dad got into a bad hit and run accident when I was young, 1990. So my mom was a nurse. She had a good job. We're raising 4 kids on 1 income, you know what I'm saying? And my parents, they split up soon after that. It wasn't easy, you know what I'm saying? So I was like the kid with like 3 shirts and 2 pants during the week, you know what I mean? Like 1 pair of shoes a year, you know what I'm saying? Although that reduced lunch ticket. But no, I was blessed, man. We had a big family, a big community. I grew up as a Christian, so we were like heavy into church, stuff like that. So I had a good childhood. I can't complain.
Where does because I was doing doing my due diligence. Shout out to Sermons Domain for being one of the illest interviewers. Let me tell you something. I was watching your interviews when I was in college, for the record. And he was talking to you about where does hip hop like come into your life heavy? Because I know that there was time periods where it wasn't like you weren't knee deep in it and things like that.
Yeah, when I was about 13, man, was hanging out. My brother came home from college, and my older cousin, Anna, shout out Anna, Andy, man, he was coming around the house, and we were hanging out, and he was heavy into Tribe Called Quest, the Alcoholics, the Far Side, but you know, early '90s stuff, you know, EPMD, Redman. So that's where I picked it up, really, and you know, that I feel like at that age, a lot of people start gravitating towards music and artists and stuff like that. For me, yeah, that's really where I fell in love. The first album I really fell in love with was A Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest. So
when you were growing up, did it even, like, obviously loving the music and everything, but did you have that dream of being an artist, or did this fall into it? Did it kind of happen, or?
I think everyone has that dream, that rock star dream. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was in me, man. But you know, I think I through the years I've dealt with a lot of like internal hurdles. You know what I'm saying? Like you could fantasize about it, but that's not you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep your feet on solid ground, and you know what I mean? Like. It's not obtained. It's a dream. It really is a dream. Until I met Logic, you know, he was a young guy, and he introduced me to this great positive mind state and anything. You know what I mean? Like, you know his thing.
From what age was Logic when you met him?
He was 19 when I met him. I was 28.
And you were 28. Was it from the jump? Did he have that positive outlook? And did you immediately? Because it feels like from the outside, big bro, like, yo, I got your back.
That's really what it was, yeah. And you know, I already had a career, and kind of my path almost set out for me. You know what I mean? Like I had a job and, you know, place to live and everything. Doing music was more of a hobby and a side thing for me. And meeting him, you know, having that. Us just clicking and becoming friends and having that young energy, and you know, he's not jaded by having a 9-to-5 yet, and you know what I'm saying, like he's you know, he's a special person, man, and I realized that quick, and it changed my outlook on the world, you know, and it goes to show you that, you know, young people can really affect the older generations, you know what I'm saying, for real, in a big way.
Doing my research, getting ready for this, going back to the old mixtapes, you were on a couple of Logic's mixtapes, on these Sinatra mixtapes, correct? You had a couple features?
Nah.
But Young Jesus wasn't the first thing you did that, because I heard you before on one thing.
There's been like he sampled my voice on a few things before the official mixtapes came out. You know, we'd be in the lab, man. Like,
I feel like he kept,
you know, messing around.
Like yo, the mic's right there. Was it a situation like that?
I mean, I would record songs and stuff like in those early days. I would, but you know, the focus was always on him and my support of that, and that, you know, that's how we were gonna win. You know what I mean? Like, but I have old songs that I recorded rapping and writing and stuff like that, and I've always just loved to write. Always loved the words, man. Like just writing and
therapeutic.
Yeah, man. It's something I've always. When it comes to music, you can either gravitate to the vibe, the instrumentation, or the writing. And I've always just gravitated to the writing, the words, what people are trying to come across.
Before we get into this, the music that you have now, the newly formed label and everything,
Right.
This journey that you guys has been crazy as a fan, looking at it, just going on DatPiff just to download it, to listen to it, to see what's up, to see in all this.
Yeah.
What's the standout moment where, like, in your close one-on-one moments talking to each other, that like it finally, like, yo, that shit just happened. I can't believe that just happened. Has there been something that sticks out?
I mean, when other artists that you admire and you follow for years, they start taking notice. They started taking notice of Logic and following him, and he actually has like friendships and relationships with these people. Those are always like big moments to us, because we just, you know, it's awesome to be acknowledged by somebody that you kind of admire, and you know, you see their work and stuff like that.
Bro, you had one of the hottest verses of the year. You know it, right?
Yeah. On America.
I'm just facts are facts. You know what I'm saying? Moving to now, New label, it was end of June it was announced?
It was announced, yeah, end of June.
Was this always in the plans as well? Or did this just kind of...
This was like always talked about, and you know what I mean? Like, I guess from like 2013, we could always kind of see that happening, you know what I mean? Because I feel like my strength has always been being kind of a critic or like a...
Giving your input, critiquing.
In a big way, man. I've been blessed with a good ear, man. I can tell when there's talent and when, you know, something that sounds good, and I don't know. We've always toyed around with it, and me being an artist actually was a later thought. After Young Jesus came out, that's when I really stepped up and was like, all right, I've had this in me for a long time. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But there was things, insecurities like my age. First of all, I'm 36, trying to be a rapper. You know, from the outside looking in, it looks like crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it's
something I always want to do. Yeah, hey, what can I say? And I was just kind of insecure of where I would fit in the world of hip hop today. You know, it's changed a lot, and it's like I had to just get past those things, those hurdles, man. You know what I mean? And just realize you just gotta be you. Just do what you love. Do what you got in you. People are gonna fuck with it or not fuck with it, and that's what it is. You know.